Okay, so let's start. All right, so over here, I have three websites. The first website, Search Engines Watch, and this is top 8 SEO trend for 2020. Right, let's go back all the way to 2020. Why do I choose 2020? It's because this is when Google new algorithm called BERT are being mature, right? And by 2020, I think 2018, that's when Google introduced, or when 2019 was Google first introduced BERT. And BERT was very important to how search engines like Google start to analyze the context of and the meaning of the content that you write. So Google constantly use different signal to measure how your content should fit and how your website should be on top over the other competitors, right? And before 2012, we all know it was backlinks. Why backlinks was the one? Because Google back then was not able to understand the context or meaning of the content which you write. So the only way for them to figure it out is two things. One is that they want to know what keyword that you include in the in your content. The more keywords you have that resemble the keyword that users search, the higher the chance that Google think that you know what you talk about. That's the first. Second thing is what type of backlinks that you have, the big link building that you have on your website. How many people that actually link your content back to their website? How many links that you have on your website with the other links. So the more links that pointing toward your website is the huge indicator for Google back in the day to think that, okay, this website is a very well-trusted website, so I will rank them on top. So that was the things of the past. In the past 10 years, Google slowly evolved into an incredibly effective and intelligent machine. And eventually by 2019, Google was able to understand the context and the content and the meaning of what you write. And they are Google slowly able to kind of integrate, let's say, search intent, understand the search intent, show users right away what they look for, like feature snippet, like people also ask, right? You ask a question and right away there's a short form answer appear for you. Those are the result of BERT, the result of the ability of Google as a search engine to understand what you are trying to convey in the content that you wrote, right? And so that's the reason why I start from 2020. That's when BERT start to mature as the main algorithm of Google search engine, right? It took time for AI to learn, and I take 1 year will be somewhere is when they start to mature on its own. Okay, so in 2020, all the experts put in their word, and they expect that voice search are going to be the trend in 2020. Feature snippets will continue to dominate search results, and this is correct. It's a summary of an answer to a search query. Google display at the top of the search result above paid and organic ads. How did Google do this? That's the big question, right? The first big question we have to ask is that how did Google understand, know which website to show and what content from which website to show it on the top above even at result to the question. And usually you will see feature snippet when you ask a question. So it means that the first thing, Google understand the intent of the search in a very deep level. Second, everything you write, Google understand. Google will go into your content, read the entire content basis, look for the things that you have in your content and decide that, okay, this content is what answer the question users are asking. Now this is an incredible step in terms of technology, right? And it's also an incredible opportunity for anyone who do SEO. And this is the reason why you really have to be able to look for those long-tailed and very highly relevant search intent keyword. So feature snippet, that's 2020. More marketers will leverage influencer on SEO. This is like influencer, you know. Of course, yes and no. It's another sort of social signal. So this is again prediction. BERT is here to stay. BERT, bidirectional encoder representation from transformer, enable anyone to train their own question answering system. This is the first major change Google has made of its search algorithm since RankBrain in 2014. BERT will impact intent queries. SEO marketers who apply BERT model increase their chances of rank on the first page on feature snippets in Google SERPs. Right? So that's what I was sharing earlier. BERT. People will want digital experience. 44 per company will move to digital first approach to improve customer experience. Whether improving page load speed is important factor. Again, it's still the same thing, right? Page load speed is always a very important factor. It's on page. You have to do it by now. 2022 is on page is a must. It's a standard you have to do. Videos will be the new king of content. While this is 2020, people think that content length will determine search rankings, right? So this is the beginning of evergreen content, which is the content that you want to invest in. The length of the content start to come back. Only high quality content can help you beat the competition page 1 ranking, but you also have to consider quantity alongside quality. There's a lot of arguments around the ideal length of a blog post. Research shows that the average length of the top 10 results is at least 2,000 words. That's because web pages with long form, high quality content enjoy more visibility. Google start to recognize the importance of how quality content should appear. And a quality piece of content are usually piece of content that require a lot more work, a lot more research, and it will certainly be a lot more longer than normal content. Mobile search is continuing to take over. Please make sure that your website is mobile optimized, right? Conclusion. So this is 2020. Now let's move to 2021 and see in the beginning of 2021 what are the things in which the experts are tripping, and how did we look from 2021 and look back at 2020, what was continued, right? What was the trend that was continued? Now, in 2021, the first things is they say core web vital as Google ranking factor. So core vital, again, this is the on-page part. You have to talk about loading, talk about interactivity, visual stability. To use, I think that in 2021, this is the first, it's newly introduced trend, but it's not yet considered to be something so important because Google know that it takes time for a website to start adopting into a new standard of search engine. So it's not yet play into a very high ranking factor. You have all three metrics called web vitals. Google BERT looks for intent matches. Again, BERT appear again. Use machine learning and natural language processing to better understand searches what users are actually looking for. It works in more than 70 languages and almost every query in Google English. With Google BERT update, Google search engine bot have become much more conversational. So now Google algorithm can now interpret the intent of the searcher in simpler words. Now Google can understand things like the human brain. I want to put this in very clear perspective. Google is a lot smarter than you think, right? And that's the reason why things like backlinks, things like signals, social signals, and all that stuff will soon to be obsolete. Because the moment Google are understanding all the things that you're trying to write and understand exactly the intent of the users, the only thing matter is the quality of the content that you have and the value that you are giving to the end users. Because they will be able to right away measure how well your content is received when you are on top one, because it's almost real time. If suddenly you have an article that rank on top one, Googlebot will go in, they will read the entire content, they will actually they will let the traffic go into your website, and they will start measuring the performance of the users engaging with your content. And if Google see that, hey, you know what, user go in, they read the whole thing, they continue to click on all the internal linking, they continue to go into other site on your page, and they stay there for longer than average. It means that your content give them a lot of values, and they like to stay in your content. Your page will stay. I guarantee you 100%. Your page will stay, right? But in the opposite case, if traffic start flooding into your website, and instead of staying there for 2 minutes and 30 seconds to read the entire content. After 2 minutes, after 30 seconds, they jump out right away. They go into the second website. And 5 out of 10 users go into your website and do the same thing. Your website will not maintain your ranking, and it will go a lot faster than you think. And that is going to be the trend going forward, you know. And only quality content will help you not only rank but sustain the rank that you have. Okay, and that's why I say, don't try to just simply like write any kind of content, you know. Don't try to simply like use you use all this tool and you say, okay, AI are going to give me all this content, and you just tell them to write. But if the AI content produce things that are not of value to the users, even though it's readable, your site may rank, but you won't be able to maintain that rank for a long time. And SEO is a game of a very long-term investment. You want to be able to maintain your rank, and the more and more keyword, the longer you can maintain on your rank, and more keywords you will be able to rank a lot easier in the longer part, right? So that's but keyword research will become more important. More than 50% of searches are zero-click searches. It means that more than half of the Google searches, approximately 175 billion searches per month, end without click. This is because of such rich result in SERP, Google Business Listing with menus and contact information, feature snippets with an answer. What does it mean? It means that a lot of keyword, when you search, you don't actually click on the result because Google already provides you with the answer, right? But that's provided your website, ad and blog content cover those keywords according to the searcher intent. Given the advancement in SERP and with so much competition out there, it's crucial to invest some time in keyword research to find keywords that can actually drive traffic and sales for your business. So that is long tail and targeted keyword for your business. And that's exactly that's the role of our golden filter. It's to filter out right away for you those keywords that is so hidden, right? It's long tail, it's extremely high intentional from searches from the users, yet it very low in competition. Understand the intent. While SEO tools are important to use, it's crucial that you analyze the search for that keyword before choosing it. In recent experiment I ran, I found that if the intent is right, even low volume search keyword with only 10-20 search per month can still generate $1,000 a month. And this is the reason why I built Zen Matrix. And when you look at Zen Matrix, you'll be able to actually look for all the keywords that are in the opportunity zone. It's the keyword that belong to the zone where you have very low search volume, but also low in competition. They are keywords that very new and appear and are growing. And you want to invest in those keywords as early as possible because it's a lot easier to rank on the keyword that have low search volume and low competition and have it grow over time for you, right? And it's one of the most successful SEO strategy I see can apply to any of the newer website or newer sort of like lesser resource website. It's really please utilize that tool, right? And if you don't know what Zen Matrix is, you can come back to the other webinar we have, and you will be able to download the Zen Matrix also from our website. So and also I want to share one more details here is one of the secret Google doesn't want you to know is a lot of those keywords that appear less than 10 searches a month or 10 to 20 searches a month, they actually have a lot higher searches a month. The reason why Google keep the amount low is because they don't want to update real time the amount of keyword. I mean, imagine the keyword database that they have, 100,000 billions of keyword that appear, and they have 15% of them are new searches every day. It means that if you constantly update your database in real time, it will take a lot of server power. And so one of the things they do is that they actually capture an average and give it a sort of like a number in the beginning, and only with keyword that are a lot higher volume, let's say a few thousand, that they update more real time. So always look for keyword with opportunities, right? Don't ever think that keyword with lower search volume won't bring you in traffic. You'll be very surprised with the amount of traffic that they bring you over time, right? Google still want original content. Yeah, again, content. Still a great content display, a crucial role in SEO ranking. Authentic content is important for business and more than just branding. Voice search, again, voice search. Artificial intelligence, most of the industry, AI is changing SEO and marketing industry as well. Google now utilize AI to provide the searches with the result they are looking for, right? And particularly when they talk about AI, is NLP product. It's natural language processing. Because you want to be able to know when a Google bot go into your content or go into your competitor content, what are they reading? How do they form the meaning of the context in which you're trying to write? And the way they form it is through the use of this thing called entities, right? And I think this is the very underrated knowledge that a lot of people don't know yet, is when a bot go in, they will actually look and scan through your content, and they look through all these different entities, and they form this thing called knowledge graph. For example, I think I already gave an example a lot of time, but I think it's a very good example. For example, if you write an article about Steve Jobs, and your article doesn't contain MacBook, doesn't contain Tim Cook, doesn't contain iPhone, doesn't contain any of the other entity that relate to the knowledge graph which Google built for the name Steve Jobs, you will have a lot lower chance to rank your content, because Googlebot go in, they scan through the entire thing, and they're like, wow, this person only write about this guy named Steve Jobs. Maybe he's not writing about Steve Jobs of Apple. If you really want to target Steve Jobs of Apple, you will want to make sure you have Apple in it. You have MacBook or iPhone or Tim Cook or John Ivey, whatever it is. When it comes to the entities that relate to the knowledge graph of Steve Jobs, the faster you make Googlebot understand the content that you try to convey, the easier it is for you to get your content ranked to the top, right? You have to leverage on how smart Googlebot are. And that's the reason why we launched Google NLP credit, right? And the only reason why we cannot give it for free, because it's really costly. And that's, you have to, in order for you to use it, you have to purchase it on the site as one-time credit. But I really recommend you, please build it in your workflow. Feature niche snippet again, influencer SEO again. Link building start to become a lot less now. EAT again, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, and branded SEO. Principle here, as you can see, establish your brand reputation, give it top priority in 2021 SEO strategy. Build brand awareness to increase the brand search. If you're working on your monthly, your life niche, then even more important for you, working to improve EAT, right? So again, you have EAT, you have content quality, you have BERT, right? And you have feature snippet. And all of this, and AI, the use of AI. So you start to see now 2020, 2021, now let's move to 2022. And in this article, 56 experts share their thoughts on SEO trend in 2022. I really like this article because it's really show a big overviews of what it is that really changed and carry on into becoming a very strong sense of the next few years. Focus on user search intent, 55%, right? Content quality. Oh, Facebook is not cooperating, the feed keep freezing. Can you go to our YouTube channel? We're also live on YouTube right now. Content quality, second. Internal linking, third. And these are the three things we have been constantly talking about since the beginning and the creation of WriterZen. You have to focus your keyword research on user search intent. Use our Zen matrix. Use our golden filter, right? Use our keyword cluster to group them together. Content quality. Build a great outlines. Include Google NLP in your content, right? And internal linking. Build a graph of topic cluster and all of the article that you need to build, and internal linking them in a system that make your Google bot really easy to understand. Then it go into quality of backlinks. So now quality of backlinks from a very top become a lot less now. Structured data, EAT, feature snippets, optimization. Feature snippets is slowly become not as good because people realize that it doesn't bring in as much organic traffic because user will just read, see the answer, and they exit, right? And the rest is here. You can, I will send the links of this after this. Perhaps I can post a comment here. All right, so as you can see, focus on user search intent. These are all of the highlights from other users talking about user search intent. SEO will continue to look for ways to delight every single visitor that comes to their website, even those that might not ultimately convert. They can do this by making sure every interaction and design element has voice and is remarkable. So what it means is, when you look for a long tail keyword, right, and you write a piece of content about it, and you rank for that keyword, user will go into that keyword, read your content. You want to make sure that within that content, you right away have another article that's ready for them to continue to look on those, right? And that's the internal linking factor that I was talking about. And we will go in a bit more detail when we look at Healthline, one of the best case study in the recent years of SEO strategy. What I want to do today, I'm sorry, is a bit more it's a bit more theory heavy, but I want all of us to really understand why content and the way SEO is changing, so that you could be very prepared for 2022 for whatever you are building, right? And so you see, focus on user search intent is number one, right? Content quality, the way you write your content, you cannot just simply write anything now. Google understand, your users understand, and Google measure how engaging your user is with your content. So please invest in building a good content quality, build good outlines, put in effort into research, and craft a content that you know is valuable, because that's the only way for you to rank in the long run, right? Internal linking. And then you have quality of backlinks. Quality of backlinks is a very standard thing nowadays. You have to, if you have a blog post, please cross guest blog with other blogs that have higher sort of like site scoring, making sure you have those linkings built weekly. So in order for you to bring up the scoring of your website. Content updating. You want to be constantly updating your previous content. Structured data, EAT again. Right? So as you see the trend going forward, in 2024, it's going to continue to be content quality, continue to be user search intent, continue to be EAT, and it's continue to be internal linking. And those going to be the four biggest things that have happened in SEO. And as you can see here in this list, you're not going to be able to do all of them, right? No one here are able to cover all of this. But as you can see, if you know 2080, the 2080 principle, right? You focus on the 20% you can control, the one that actually give you 80% of the result, and you do it really, really well. Instead of you trying to do everything that's mediocre, it will give you a lot better result. And that's the whole point of us building Writer's Ed. We kind of just want you to focus on those things that we believe that matters. Focus on doing really good keyword research, finding those keywords that hidden, that opportunities that are not yet discovered by your competitors, and it have very high search intent value. Focus on content quality, craft really good content quality, structure your topic cluster, structure your article list, and structure the internal linking between those first. And if you do all of those things really well, and then you start building backlinks into it, you have a lot higher chance to rank. I guarantee you. You have a lot higher chance to rank than you go in there and try to do everything right. Oh, today you do on page, you do internal, you go and you buy a bunch of backlinks. You try to write a lot of articles on a lot of keyword, and you just kind of shoot it out, publish and index on your website, and you expect that traffic will just go in and you will convert. That's blindly going to a battle. SEO is a very disciplined practice. It requires sequential steps. You have to start with building a structure. You have to, and then you go into keyword research, and then you group the keyword together, and then you start crafting the content under it, and you connect those content together with a map of internal linking system. If you do all that right, you do it right first, things will turn better for you. I guarantee. Right? Okay, as you can see here, interesting fact. EAT again, brand awareness. So again, these are the trend. Now let's go into